Okay, class, good morning. We continue our performing computer operations part 2. So last week kasi we have the webinar about the Android application. I hope na marami sa inyo ang natuto when it comes to the Android development. And we know we are dominated with the Android environment nowadays and used not just in the mobile phones but at the same time in television and other technologies that is powered by Android, no? In the college nyo, pagka nagpo-program na kayo, the mobile development, you can use Android, you can create your own application using Android environment. But now we're going to continue about the performing computer operations. Last time we discussed the parts of the computer, the input-output devices, but the same time the function as well to build computers. The sooner or later, how to assemble the computer, how it works. But now let's continue with that. Okay? Let's go to the advantages of the computer. Okay? We have the advantages and disadvantages then. Number one, we have the high speed. Ang computer kasi natin is mabilis ang kanyang performance when it comes to the speed. Computer is a very fast device. Dahil sa mga gamit natin ng mga like RAM cards, video cards, and processor, it can able to perform tasks properly in the single snap of time. It is capable of performing calculation for very large amount of data. So, dahil mabilis na ngayon yung mga mga specs natin with sa computer, it expect that more calculations and more tasks to be executed. It can perform millions of calculations in a few seconds compared to manual will spend many months to perform the same task. For example, nag-compute na lang tayo ng 10 digit times 10 digit. So it takes sabihin natin 20 minutes or 30 minutes to answer that. But because of the computer, lagay mo lang sa Excel mo, ilagay mo lang yan sa calculator mo, definitely lalagay na yung sagot niya. So ganun kabilis ang computer. Next naman natin when it comes to the accuracy. Kung kanina nag-calculate tayo, you can see the 100% accuracy of the answers. The calculation is error-free. Di ba 100% yan? Maglagay ka lang ng data dyan, ayusin mo lang yung formula, definitely lalabas yung sagot. Of course, there is an interaction with the people. So, ito pa rin yung disadvantage. For example, naglagay ka ng formula, mali yung nilagay mong formula, definitely, mali din yung lalabas na formula sa computer. It's not accurate. But if you put the right formula for that, it will be more accurate. But at the same time, we have the presets of the computer. For example, the calculations, we use statistical tools, the calculus, lahat na meron tayo ngayon, and yung mga preset, definitely, it will present 100% accuracy. It is very fast. Computers are very accurate. It is precise the information. It can perform with 100% accuracy. Paulit-ulit tayo, di ba? Na pag nilagay natin yung correct na input natin, the output will be correct. Next naman natin when it comes to storage capability. So number one is the memory is very important with the characteristics of the computers. We have the RAM, we have the ROM, di ba? The read-only memory, the random access memory. The random access memory can hold the temporary data. It can be performed the many tasks as we have and can store the previous activities by the use of RAM. And the ROM, of course, we see the more documents that saves more data permanently. Okay, that's the function of the memory. So, capability, syempre, kung 500 gig yan, you can maximize the use of 500 gigabyte of data. The computer has more storage capacity than human beings, 'di ba? Tayo makakalimutin nga tayo, 'di ba? Yung ano ba yung minsan nakakalimutan natin huling ginawa natin, 'di ba? Kung saan mo nilagay yung cellphone mo, nakakalimutan natin. But the computer, when it comes to the memory, alam na alam niya kung saan nakalagay. Of course, when it comes to the human interaction, for example, nilagay mo sa magulong folder, 'di ba? Definitely hindi mo mahahanap 'yon. 'Di ba? Lalo na pag dito sa bahay natin, physically, kunyari nilagay mo sa kwarto yung tuwalya, 'di ba? Mamaya hindi mo na mahanap, hinalukay mo na ang buong bahay. But because of a computer, we have the search property. 'Di ba? I-search mo lang, lagay mo dito gantong file. Siyempre, kailangan maalala mo. Definitely lalabas yung result niyan, 'di ba? That's the storage capability. Okay? It can store large amount of data. Okay? Siyempre, kung ano yung capacity mo, baka mamaya, kung for example, 1 terabyte, nilagay mo dyan, sobra sa 1 terabyte, syempre, di ba, hindi na siya, kumbaga, hindi na siya ukba doon sa requirement mo. But definitely, it can store amounts, a large of data. Okay? gigabyte man yan, for example, kung 500 gigabyte yan, kung may 2 gig ang mga movie dyan, makakapag-store ka pa rin ng mga high datas natin. Okay? It's anytime such images, video, text, audio, etc. Siyempre, may mga file extensions tayo, file JPEG, .png, .mov, .mp4. Marami na eh. Kumbaga, ang computer, kayang-kaya niya lahat yun to store data and different kinds of characteristics. Okay. Diligence. It's free from monotony, tiredness, of lack of concentration. It can work continuously without any or error or boredom. So, very productive po ang computer. Diba? When it comes to the performance, kumbaga, may ipoprovide ng computer kung anong kailangan mo. It can perform repeated tasks with the same speed and accuracy. Sinasabi ko nga kanina, diba? Kahit ilang Google Chrome yan, magperform pa rin na maigi yan. Ako, kahit naka-OBS ako, naka-PowerPoint, nakabukas pa ang Google Chrome, it performs at the same time with the same speed, diba? Siyempre, para mas mabilis to, siyempre, yung RAM mo at yung lahat ng specs mo, tutugma naman doon sa ginagawa mo, okay? That's the diligence of the computer. Next natin is reliability. So when you say reliability, masasandalan mo siya, you be dependable with it. Computer is a reliable machine. Kumbaga, lahat ng kailangan mo sa computer lang nakaalalay, di ba? So kung gagawa ka ng PowerPoint presentation, gagawa ka ng letters, magla-live stream ka, magagawa ka ng assignment mo, sa social media ka, it used by the computer, di ba? O kung for example, hindi lang naman yung computer na laptop or PC, but of course yung mga devices that generated by the computer, of course, it's more reliable and maasahan talaga siya at magagamit natin siya in the real life natin. Of course, kung may computer ka or may mga devices ka that is supported by the computer. Electronic components, modern, have long lives. Of course, panghabang buhay din ng computer. So, maaasahan mo nga siya, magagamit mo siya. But because of the time frame natin, nag-elevate din ng technology, nag-innovate din. Siyempre, kailangan din natin mag-upgrade para mas maging yung sustainability nitong performance ng computer will become more reliable. Computers are designed to make maintenance easy. Meron tayong mga troubleshooting din, yung mga FAQs, for example, paano i-repair to, paano mag-delete, mag-reformat, mag-modify, mag-reprogram, lahat po nandito sa computer. Okay. The advantages also of the computer, the reduction of paperwork and costs. Mas mapapabilis din yung oras natin, but the same time ngayon, lalo na sa digital age natin, hindi na uso ang papel. We are now converted into digital platform. For example, ang banking, yung mga physical natin pera ngayon, mobile banking na, di ba? Pagka may mga credit cards tayo, hindi na po tayo mga bills natin, hindi na tayo nagpapadala ng papers. Lahat na po dadaan sa mobile devices natin, sa email natin, papadala na lang po yung statement of account. Ito na po yung bills nyo and babayaran mo na lang siyang online. It's more fast and reliable. The computers for data processing in an organization leads to reduction of paper that results in speeding up the process. Kumbaga, it's economically good and environmental friendly dahil wala ng papers, hindi na tayo magpuputol ng puno, di ba? Lahat po ay nalagay na sa digital. The computer itself, nandyan na. Okay? Pagka magagawa ka ng letters, kung hindi naman kailangan, isi-send mo na lang sa kaibigan mo, ito na. Lalo na pag nagkokopyahan kayo, sinesend mo na lang yung document. O yan, ilagay mo na lang yan para may assignment ka. That's it, di ba? That's the power of digital platform today. There's no paper, di ba? Hindi ka na mahirapan mag-type. And the same time, di ba nabanggit na rin natin, the Google, remember the Google Lens. Google Lens, kapag tapat mo lang yung camera mo sa text, di ba? May text, it automatically converted into digital text and then you copy-paste it in your Google Keep or in your MS Word, di ba? Definitely, yung lahat ng nakapaskil doon sa tarpaulin, for example, ay tinatamad ka mag-type. Itapat mo ng camera mo, i-converted niya siya. It's using a data processing technology. Diba? Data processing technology na mas mapapadali ang buhay natin. Okay? Image processing para ma-convert these images to this text, images to the information. Okay. Of course, kung meron advantages, we have disadvantages. Number one, no IQ, diba? The computer is dependent on the storage and dependent on the people. The bottom line pa rin, sino pa rin ang gumawa ng computer, which is tao din. Ang IQ ang tao. So, you have intelligence pa rin. The computer has no intelligence. It has no way on how to execute that properly. What do I mean is, it cannot perform its own decision. Kung tayo kasi we can perform by own decision by in our intelligence, the computer hasn't. But now, we have artificial intelligence, but of course, still, gawa pa rin ng tao yun, but because of more programs, that the computer can use this artificial intelligence that perform any task. Okay. It's instruction to be given by the computer. The computer cannot any decision on its own. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. But today, we have artificial intelligence that created by human beings. There definitely, the computer itself can perform any task and perform decision on its own because of this artificial intelligence. But of course, meron pa rin tong injection syempre ng tao dahil nga syempre yung codings, yung programming para makapag-perform yung computer based on the artificial intelligence. But definitely the computer has no IQ. But in the modern days, artificial intelligence is boom today. Okay? Wag na kayo magtataka pag nag-college kayo. For example, sinabi sa inyo, ang project na natin for the thesis is artificial intelligence, data mining. Yan na po ang mga trends natin sa computer. So, kung magka-college kayo at magtitesis kayo na library system, POS, hindi na po tatanggapin yan ng mga professors because we are now on the trending. Diba? Kung ano trending ng IT industry ngayon, kailangan sumundo tayo doon. At the same time, we have to create something different or new or elevating the technology of artificial intelligence, data mining, etc. Of course, dependency. Its functions that the paper uses instructions is the fully dependent on humans kasi end user pa rin tayo. Kahit paliktarin natin ng mundong ito, ang pinaka magdidikta pa rin tayo, yung tao. Kasi yung decisions natin when it comes to the program is tayo pa rin po. Kasi syempre, by the access of data, information, the system, nandyan din po sa tao pa rin. Pag sa shutdown, tao pa rin na magsha-shutdown, hindi naman magkukusa shutdown yung computer natin. Yan na lang yung mababaw na example natin. Okay? Syempre, may mga voice commands na natin. Sabihin mo na lang, shutdown the computer. Definitely magsha-shutdown yung computer. Kumbaga, oo, masasandalan natin computer when it comes to the speed, accuracy, and reliability, but of course, still tayo pa rin na yung magmamando sa computer. What the computer will do. And the environment, the operating environment of the computer should be dust-free and suitable. Alam nyo naman, aalikabukan pa rin ang computer, okay? So, it should be clean as we can. Okay? Of course, it's delicate pa rin na kung yung mga clean the parts, okay? And the computer walang feelings, 'di ba? Parang jowa mo, 'di ba? Pusong bato, 'di ba? No feelings, 'di ba? Bagay lang din ng computer, 'di ba? Pero hindi rin tao ang computer. Computer has no feelings or emotion. It cannot make judgment based on the feeling, taste, experience, knowledge, unlike humans. Kasi tayo, we have sense based on the emotions, based on the decisions, 'di ba? Ang computer wala. Parang ano lang yan, sinasabi nga natin binary, 0 and 1 lang. Yes or no, di ba? Meron, wala. Ganun lang ang computer. Okay. Ano ba ang applications natin when it comes to the computer? Number 1, when it comes to the businesses. Ayan. Businesses with the business industry, kumbaga business outsourcing, entrepreneurship, networking, yan, parts of the businesses, okay? Its high speed of calculation, diligence, accuracy, reliability, or versatility, which had been integrated part of the business organization. Computer is based on the business organization for payroll calculations. Meron tayong tinatawag na HR system, human resource system, time in, time out, yung mga monthly contributions natin, kinakalta sa sahod natin, per hour natin, per day, nandun yan, kinakalculate based na in and out mo. Pag late ka, ito yung minutes na kinakalculate sa'yo, ikakalta sa'yo. That's HR system. The calculation when it comes to the payroll, di ba? Napapasahod sa mga empleyado. Budgeting din, di ba? Sales analysis when it comes to the sales, natin, magkano ba yung nakuwang sales, magkano yung pumasok na pera, magkano yung naiwalda sa pera, expenditures, business kumbaga financial reports, financial forecasting, dahil meron tayong mga data, it will predict ano ba with the use of graphical forms, pie graphs, bar graphs, 'di ba? Or statistics, mga ganyan, 'di ba? For example, ditong ngayong pandemic, when it comes to the Okta research, when it comes to yung mga for example, when it comes to the population, when it comes to the sickness, example din yung PSA, di ba, with the census. Yan, managing employee database, maintenance of stocks, inventories, lalo na sa e-commerce, for example, Lazada, Shopee, Zalora, di ba? They have the e-commerce platform. When it comes to the business, pagkano yung sales na lumabas sa'yo, magkano yung kinita mo, ilan yung stocks ng ganitong mga binibenta mo, nandun po lahat yon sa isang e-commerce. They are integrated with the business platform. Number 2, when it comes to the banking, ayan, it's almost totally dependent on computers. Online accounting facility, which includes checking current balances, making deposits and overdrafts, checking interest charges, shares, and trust records, as well as the ATM. Ngayong pandemic, lahat po tayo natuto sa mobile banking. Marami kasing tao noon na ayaw ang mobile banking kasi daw may phishing, may hacking, lahat po ng klase ng modus operandi when it comes to the online, dahil nga makukuha nga daw yung not just the money but also the personal information. Okay, meron tayong GCash, meron tayong BPI, Union Bank, lahat sila ay Paymaya, lahat po sila nasa mobile banking. 'Di ba? Ano ba yung mga mobile banking? You can pay by a QR code. By scanning this QR code, pupunta ka ng SM, 'di ba? For example, ang binili mo ay 450 pesos. Scan mo na lang yung GCash QR or Paymaya QR, BDO man 'yan. Definitely, syempre maglalagay ng OTP, one-time PIN para makaltas yan sa pera mo. Definitely, kakaltas na yan sa pera mo. O magta-transfer ka ng pera from one account to another account. Dati pupunta ka pa ng bangko, effortly yun ha, pupunta ka pa ng bangko. O gusto ko lipat yung 10,000 to sa account number na to. Pero ngayon, sa banking lang yan, online banking. Lilipat mo yung 10,000 pesos mo sa another bank account mo. OTP lang yon, di ba? Na tamang account number lang yon. The same time, ATM. Hindi ka na pupunta ng ATM. Pupunta ka lang sa ATM para mag-withdraw ng pera. Di ba? Dati doon ka pa magbabayad ng bills, doon ka pa magde-deposit. Now, di ba? Everything withdrawal, pwede rin naman sa mobile. Okay. Ngayon, may ginagamit na ngayon ang BDO, yung instead of PIN, di ba? Pipindutin mo yung PIN, you're using your biometric, which is your fingerprint. Yun yung magiging serve mo as your PIN, di ba? PIN, kumbaga PIN number, ito ay biometric para mabilis agad yung pag-release ng pera, yung mga transaction. Even yung paglalagin natin sa mobile banking, you use biometric, yung mga cellphones natin that has a fingerprint features. Okay? So marami ng uses ng banking. And ngayon, ginagamit niyan, di ba? Kumbaga, limit na lang yung pagpunta natin sa bangko. We're going to use online or mobile, di ba? Next naman natin, when it comes to the education, that helps you provide the facilities in the education system. The computer provides education system that's computer-based education, or computer education is rapidly increasing the graph of numbers for the computer students. So you are privileged na nandito kayo sa AMA, the AMA education system, 'di ba? The AMA that implements the first ever the blended learning system dito sa Pilipinas. The AMA also that implemented the first online school dito sa Pilipinas, 'di ba? We have the AMA OED, the AMA online education, na full online education courses, lalo na pag nag-college kayo, na pwede kayong nagwo-work at the same time nag-aaral kayo online. And today, because of the pandemic, we have the AMA online education, which is yung dating kinaulan na blended learning, na 3 days papasok sa class, at the same time, yung 3 days mo is blended, na magbabasa ka ng mga module, magsasagot ka ng activity, which is 50-50 ang grading system. But now we have the AMA online education, we have the synchronous classes and asynchronous classes, that which is itong ginagawa natin, that we have the online classes, dahil nga bawal nga face-to-face, so may mga teacher na haharap sa inyo, na ito, we use Google Meet, we use presentation that will provide quality education para sa inyo. And then we have the modules and the activities you're going to answer based on this presentation, or na itong pinapresent namin sa inyo na based doon sa module. So, ganun yung ginagamit natin. But at the same time, not just with that, we have Google Classroom that and Edmodo that education productivity tools that able to use, create activities, create assignments, create discussions. So number 4, when it comes to the marketing, we use advertising. The computers advertising professionals create art and graphics, right? And revise, copy, and print and disseminate with ads, goal setting, mall products. Advertising, when it comes to advertising, gumagamit tayo ng graphic design, animation, graphic software. For example, Adobe, Creative Suite, Autodesk. For that, use 3D animations. We use visual effects, paggawa ng mga commercial, paggawa ng mga tarpaulins, banners, advertising materials that will be used. That's the marketing part of the when it comes to the applications of computer, 'di ba? Kaya mahal po ang mga bayad sa kanila dahil it takes a long time para po ma-execute ito properly. Next naman natin, home shopping has been made possible the use of computerized catalogs and provide access the product information and permit direct entry orders to be filled by the customers. Meron tayong mga websites, 'di ba? May website na tayo, for example, yung Shopee, Lazada, it's e-commerce. If you use e-commerce shopping, magsha-shopping ka na lang online dahil ayaw mo pumunta ng SM, pumunta ng Robinson. So dito na lang kasi mas convenient ako, nasa bahay ako, 'di ba? That's not just home shopping but of course e-commerce shopping. Ayan. 'Di ba? In-add to cart na lang. Add to cart now, 'di ba? Gumaganon tayo, 'di ba? Added to cart. Ka-cash out na lang ay i-check out na lang 'yan, 'di ba? Kumbaga instead you're going to the mall, dahil nga pandemic ngayon, you're going to surf online. Okay, may mga catalogs din dyan, may mga direct selling, yung mga networking, di ba? They have catalogs that will presented their product, may mga PDF yan, di ba? That's will able to use, and they use advertising materials para lang maabot po sa inyo. That's the market. Okay, that's the application of computer when it comes to marketing. Next naman natin is healthcare system. Okay? Napaka gamitin ngayong panahon ito. The following major fields the computers. So kanina sabi natin yung Okta research, 'di ba? They are statistically pertaining to the reproductive level when it comes to reproduction of COVID-19 cases. For example, yung pagkalat ng virus, yung fatality rate, ayan, yung capacity ng mga beds, yung sa vaccination. So they use that for calculation statistically para malaman natin what happened to the health situation sa bansa natin. Okay, tuloy tayo dito. Diagnosis system that used to collect data, identify the cause of illness. We have yung mga lab diagnostic, pharma information. Ito na, diagnostic, di ba, nagpapa-CBC tayo, urinalysis, yung sa MRI, ECG. So nakikita doon yung kumbaga hindi lang siya qualitative but quantitative information na lalabas doon. Yung resulta ng laboratory mo determine kung may sakit ka ba or wala, 'di ba? It uses technology, that uses computer to detect with that, okay? Pharma information system to check drug levels, may mga inventory yan, yung mga stock system, yung kunyari lot number, expiration, yung mga side effects, using technology. Ngayon, when it comes to vaccination, we use technology. Di ba yung mga RNA o ano mga terms man yan, they uses computer and they have the simulation para malaman how to detect, how to kill this kind of virus or kill this kind of illness or sickness, di ba? In surgery, computer also used in performing. So, for example, yung camera na mahaba na parang ahas, yung nilalagay sa lalamunan, nakikita yung parts ng body mo, di ba? Yung pagka nilagay yung camera na yun, sakit, di ba? Ito yung ginagamit para malaman meron bang cyst, meron bang bukol, meron bang nana, or meron pang sakit na doon sa loob ng katawan. May camera yung yun. Para nalalaman natin, even just a surgery, di ba? Pwede yung sa ultrasound din nakikita din kung lalaki ba o babae yung anak mo. That's by the use of technology, the application of computer when it comes to the healthcare system natin. Next naman natin when it comes to the engineering designs. Let's go to the structural engineering. Ito na yung stress and strain analysis for design for ships building. Ito yung mga high-end buildings, yung mga high infrastructure projects. The structures, they use softwares with that. They're able to know the measurement, the density, the quality. Ito, industrial. Design, implementation, improvement, integrated system, the people, materials, and equipment, yung mga gagamitin natin, and architectural drawing. We use Autodesk Maya, Autodesk Sketchpad, SketchUp, merong SketchUp na merong AutoCAD yon. Autodesk AutoCAD, SketchUp, ayan, use 3Ds and 2Ds, as well as animation, simulation, makita mo, ito design ng bahay mo, ito design ng building na to. Ganon, napapabilis ngayon ang pang-construction ng building. And then just equipment, kung nakikita yung soil testing, yung mga yung paglinya, kung pantay ba yung sa paglalagay ng tiles, sa mga objects, lahat, they use technologies by the use of computer that will able when it comes to engineering and architecture. And of course, ngayon, 'di ba, sa Pilipinas yung build program, okay? So they use technologies para the newest technology para mas syempre na high-end tayo with comes to infrastructures. Next, we're going to the military. Okay. Computers are largely used in defense. Sinasabi natin yung mga kwento natin, yung ENIAC, EDVAC, yung mga first computers that are internet. First use, ginamit yan sa mga military, sa mga census, sa government. Okay? Modern tanks, missiles, weapon, etc. So, they use technologies for that para malaman nila yung gramo ba ng ano, or saan ba yung layo nito pagka nag-ano tayo. Usually, yun yung ginagawa ng mga military, which is simulations. That employs computerized control systems. It pertains PCO control, military communication, military operation and planning, and smart weapons. But the use of this computer, we can use new weapons, new technologies that can be more empower our military, diba? In military power. It comes to communication. Communication is the way to convey message, an idea, a picture, or speech that's received and understood clearly and corrected by the person whom it means. Some area categories. When it comes to communication, dati, di ba, ginagamit yung kay Alexander Graham Bell, that's the first telephone na ang concept noon yung dalawang lata na may nylon na tali, 'di ba? Na magta-transmit yung data from one place to another. But now we use internet, telecommunication, dati telegram, ngayon use of social media, that use of email, the use of chat, use of telnet, video conferencing. When say email, we have Google, we have Yahoo, Outlook, the chat you use Messenger, WhatsApp, Viber. Video conferencing, we have Discord, Google Meet, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. We have a lot of things that we're able to communicate. And Skype also. Dati, we use paper, yellow pad, di ba? Mga OFW, kumusta ka na? Mapapadala yan ng mga 1 month. Tapos, pag nabasa mo, syempre, magre-reply ka na naman ng yellow pad. Mga 5 pages yung back and front, di ba? Nakakapagod magsulat. Papadala yun, 1 buwan na yung darating. Para, alam mo yun, yung may delay ng ano man yung nangyayari. But now, it is a real time. For example, umaga ngayon, 9 a.m. Kunyari, ang kausap mo ay taga-Australia. Definitely, alas 12 na tanghali yun. Mas advance sila ng 3 oras. Definitely, pagka nag-video conferencing kayo, nag-video call kayo, pag nag-usap kayo, syempre, ano kayo in real time? For example, from Saudi, 7 hours yan. Saudi, Dubai, Doha, di ba? Amerika, gabi doon, umaga rin di ba? Makikita mo na discrepancy man yung time zone natin, pero pagka nag-usap tayo, very real time, nakakausap natin sila. Hindi na yung dati na parang naiinip ako na parang, parang nakakamiss dito sa Pilipinas. Pero ngayon, because of this communication, nawawala yung gap, nawawala yung lungkot. That's the advantages, diba? They get more interact with one another. And especially, social media. Because of the social media, mas umingay ngayon ng tao, di ba? It's the way of communication. And we have cellphone today. Ang cellphone dati, kung meron ka ng 5110, kung meron din magka 5110 dito ay legend ka, di ba? Pero kung hindi ka na nakaabot ng mga lumang cellphone, millennial ka na, Gen Z ka na, Gen Z, di ba? Gen Z to the point na touchscreen ka na, di ba? Tablets, di ba? Hindi mo na-experience yung depindot na keypads, di ba? Kung keypads man, yung PSP na lang yan, yung patawag dito, yung PS Vita or yung PlayStation 5 whatsoever, 'di ba? Noon yung cellphone ngayon, di pindot pa keypad, ABC, ganon. Tapos pang-Jejimon pa yung mga ano. Ngayon hindi na, 'di ba? It's a good way of communication that passing the message from the real time. Mag-send ka pa ng image, mag-send ka pa ng video, napaka-reliable and mostly used siya today. Next, government. Government, the important role in the government services, some of the major fields, budgets, sales tax department, income tax, capitalization of voter list. Ngayon, COMELEC, di ba? Kakatapos lang ng vote registration and yung mga aspirants na natin. Siyempre, maraming milyong tao siyempre nakasave sa computer at the same time gagawan yon, 'di ba? Siyempre pag nagbotohan tayo, computerized na rin ang election natin, 'di ba? So, sa shade mo lang, definitely mag-detect na niya kung sino yung mga binoto mo. At the same time, magka-count lahat yun from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, buong Pilipinas, and absentee, lahat yon magagather lang total number of votes o sino yung mananalo. The same time, yung mga budgets natin, 'di ba? Lahat po computerized. Ayan, weather forecasting, yung Pag-asa, PHIVOX, di ba, yung nadetect, may bagyo daw tayo, ganito, o nililindol tayo, tulad nitong Taal, bumutok daw yung Taal, naglabas ng mga sulfur emissions, mga ganon, gas emissions, that's so on. So, nagito by the government, okay? Okay, let's proceed to the software. Software, nakaraan hardware yung pinag-usapan natin, the peripherals, that can magfa-function ang isang computer. But of course, software then is the collection of instructions that makes the computer work. For example, we have the keyboard, we have the graphics card, the CD, hindi or RAM card or processor, hindi magwo-work out yan sa computer without the software. Kaya 'di ba pag bumibili tayo, for example na lang printer, 'di ba? Hindi magwo-work out ang printer kapag walang driver o yung software driver para mag-install sa computer at mapagana mo na maigi ang printer. Okay. This type of works via the keyboard. The computer software is responsible for displaying the correct letters in the correct place on the screen. O yun nga, yung keyboard. Diba? Bumili ka ng mechanical keyboard na may USB. Of course, hindi mapapagana yung keyboard mo pag hindi mo sinaksak yung USB cable niyan sa computer. Okay? Yung mouse din, ganun din. Pag hindi mo sinaksak yung USB, or kung wireless yan, pag hindi mo kinonect yan sa Bluetooth, definitely hindi mo mapapagana itong keyboard at mouse na ito. Okay, ang printer, sinasabi ko nga kanina, hindi mo mapapagana ma-print, hindi ka makakapag-print, hindi ka makakapag-scan unless hindi mo na-install yung driver ng printer niya, ng model niyan sa computer para mag-work it properly. Okay? The common types of computer software. Ito, we will be able to discuss the different types of computer software. Computer software is the language of the computer. It this way will able to communicate between the hardware and the software that will be work together in the single computer. Like the human language, there are different computer languages. Ang computer language will be discussed later on. Essentially, computer software can be divided in three main groups depending on their use and applications. That these are number 1, operating system. Ito, naririnig natin to, operating system. When you say operation, this will be overall. Inahawakan niya yung lahat, di ba? Ito na lang, para mas maintindihan nyo. Ang operating system ay parang Chief Operating Officer o COO. Ang ginagawa ng Chief Operating Officer, yung sa lahat ng operations, di ba? When it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to lahat po ng operasyon ng opisina, kontrolado ni COO o Chief Operating Officer. Lahat ng function ni COO, yun yung saklaw niya. Ganun po si operating system. 'Di ba? Saklaw niya ang hardware, saklaw niya ang software, saklaw niya yung mga registers, 'di ba? Yung mga tasks, 'di ba? Lahat ng control natin sa computer ay kontrolado po ni operating system. Okay. So, itong PowerPoint, in-install ko sa software. Itong OBS, yung graphics card ko, nagwo-workout sila. Lahat yun under ni operating system. Okay? Sabi, operating system is the system software that manages hardware, software sources, and common services for the computer programs. Lahat po yan naka-encapsulated kay operating system. So ulitin ko, si operating system parang chief operating officer ng isang kumpanya yan. Kontrolado niya sales, marketing, kontrolado din niya yung sa HR, lahat sa maintenance, lahat po hawak po ni chief operating officer. Ganun din si operating system. So ano trabaho ni operating system? Ano ba features niya? An operating system is a program that acts as an interface between the software and the computer hardware. Kumbaga, ito yung pagitan niya between software and hardware. Sabi ko nga kanina, 'di ba, meron tayong printer, meron tayong driver, 'di ba? Para mag-encapsulate diyan sa operating system at mapagana mo parehas 'yan, 'di ba? Based on the requirements, of course, i-install mo sila pareha para magamit mo sila ng maigi within the operating system. Okay? It's an integrated set of specialized programs used to manage overall resources in all the operations of the computer. Lahat, yung sabi ko nga, computer hardware, software, para mapagana lahat yan. Siyempre, may mga settings pa tayo dyan, may mga files din tayo, para mapagana rin yan. Okay. It's specialized software that controls and monitors the execution of all programs inside the computer, including application and other system software. Meron tayong processor, meron tayong RAM. There are the major role of performing tasks properly. Kumbaga, si COO, sabi ko, si COO, kailangan niya ma-maintain na maayos ang flow ng system, ng sales, ng lahat. Ganun din si RAM. Kung ano yung ginagawa nito, maayos ni processor lahat ng makakaya niya, ng walang delay, ng mabilis. Kaya 'di ba sabi natin yung computer is fast, reliable, doon sa advantages natin. Okay. So operating system. So ano ba ang meron sa operating system? Ito i-explain na nga natin. Yung user 1, user 3, user N, user 2. So yung software, meron tayong software and application software. Okay. Under yun ni operating system. 'Di ba? Application software, yan yung MS Office, 'di ba? System software, yung mga meron pa tayo sa under ng operating system na mga registers, calculations, ayan, system software yan. When you say system software, application software, so may difference sila. So under yan yung operating system that works on the software. And then, in hardware, syempre, para mag-perform na maigi si software, kailangan ni hardware. 'Di ba? May RAM para yung mga temporary storage, kahit ilang application software yung magbukas, walang problema. Input-output devices natin, yung mga mouse, keyboard, kasi pag nag-perform lahat yan, slow, 'di ba? Smooth ang kanyang gawain. And the CPU, syempre the brain of the computer, iko-control niya lahat ng mga tasks, operation, registers, yung clock, 'di ba? Kailangan mag-work out silang lahat, and that's the operating system works. 'Di ba? Ano yung iba yung differences ni operating system, yung operating system that works also the hardware and the software. Ano objectives ni operating system? To make the computer system convenient to use in efficient manner. Diba? Magamit natin siya. Sabi nga, with pertaining to the task, ma-execute niya properly kung sino yung top priority niya. Of course, hindi ko masyado palalaminin dahil kasi baka mapunta tayo sa subject na principles of operating system. But ito ay hapyaw lang ng ito ay computer operation. Ito yung, kumbaga, makapag-perform siya ng maayos at the same time execute niya na maigi para maging convenient sa atin. Siyempre hindi naman tayo papayag na hindi nag-work out itong driver na to para sa isang hardware na to. To hide the details of the hardware resources from the users, to provide users a convenient interface to use the computer system para mas maging maayos yung paggamit natin ng isang computer, para maging smooth anumang gamitin nating programs. To act as intermediary between the hardware and its users to make it easier to access and other resources. Objectives: to manage the resources of the computer system. Gaya ng sinabi ko, si COO, kailangan maging smooth ang lahat ng transactions, lahat ng activities. Ganun din, pati yung mga resources, nagagamit siya na ma-maximize siya. To keep track of using which resource, granting resource requests, mediating conflicting requests to different programs and users. Siyempre, nare-report natin kung may mga problema, kung kailangan ba i-troubleshooting. So, may mga ways for that. to provide efficient and fair sharing in resources among users and programs. The examples of the operating system when it comes to the desktop or laptop, desktop computers, number one is Windows, very familiar. 'Di ba? Windows started in the 80s, 'di ba? Ang linabas is Windows 1.0 and now we are Windows 11 that will be launched this month, which is November na, 'di ba? Windows 11 that which is more comprehensive than the previous Windows operations. The operating system version of Windows that very successful was the Windows 98, the Windows XP, and the Windows 7. Okay, let's proceed to the Mac OS. It is the Macintosh. That's it pronounced. That hindi Macintosh. Macintosh, okay? It's produced by Apple. Of course, it was in 80s, 90s. Okay? They have differences within the Windows and the Macintosh, okay? If you are Mac lovers, if you're Apple lover, you use Mac OS, okay? And of course, the Linux, the Ubuntu. Ayan. Of course, we have in the mobile. In the mobile, we have Android. Android was developed by Android Corporation but later on acquired by Google Incorporated. Kaya alam nyo dati, di ba, ang Google search engine lang, pero ang Google, it's made widespread when it comes to cloud or internet services. Sama na natin ang mobile like Android. Okay. Especially meron din ng Apple which is the iOS. Yan. Okay, let's go to the application software. Number one is the operating system. Number two is the application software. Application software is used for the commercial purpose. The application software is, ito yung kanina, yung pinakita nating graphic, yung graphic interpretation. Application and mamaya. So, application software, ayan. The application is widely used for educational, business, and medical fields. Computer games are the most popular forms of application software. Ito na yung program kung saan nabubuksan natin. Nagagamit po natin. Okay? Industrial information, databases, business software, and medical software proved to be a great help to respective fields. Educational software is widely used educational institutions across the globe. Ito, ano ba yung masasabi natin application software? Ito yung nagagamit natin ng mga programs. Kumbaga, tinatawag natin ito sa mobile, ito yung mga apps na ginagamit natin para para ma-access po natin yung account natin. Okay, paggamit natin based on the purposes natin. For example, the application software which is the productivity tools. Productivity tools that includes Microsoft Office, di ba? Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneDrive, which is the storage part of the Office, or it can be MS Teams, the application for teleconferencing application. Word, magta-type ka ng mga letters. PowerPoint, you're creating your presentation like this one. Excel, you're creating spreadsheets. Okay? Next naman natin is the application software when it comes to the graphics, whether Autodesk or Adobe. Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere Pro, Maya, 3D, ayan, 3ds, 3D Max, 3ds Max, mga ganon. This streaming software, application software, which is the OBS, di ba? We use for live streaming or recording screens. We have the antivirus applications like this AVAS, AVG, McAfee, di ba, na ginagamit po natin. Of course, we have the application software with regards to the printers, di ba? Printers, mga graphics cards natin, yung modification ng mga, of course, mga yan, di ba? Printers, marami pang iba. Okay, that's the application software. And Spotify is also an application software for music players, VLC. Diba? The Windows Media Player that able to play music, to burn music. iTunes is a music software also, just like the Microsoft Media Player. But the purpose of the iTunes, you can synchronize your Apple devices like iPad, Mac Pro, iMac, or other Apple devices. Okay? Next naman natin is programming languages. Programmers use programming software to develop programming languages necessary to run computer software. Compilers, interpreters, linkers, and text editors are some basic tools used in programming software. Without the software cannot work without the programming language. As you can see kanina, yung mga productive application software is made up of programming language. It cannot be done because of the programming language. Okay? So these are kumbaga ito yung mga hardcore, no? Sa mga kayo mag-IT kayo sa college, 'di ba? You will create your own syntax, you will create your own system. For example, gagawa ka ng sarili mong payroll system, sarili mong library system, you create your own game, 'di ba? By the use of programming language. Yung mga nalalaro po natin, Mobile Legends, Call of Duty, batawag dito, marami pa yung mga LOL, 'di ba? Dota. It's by the use of the programming language. It can be done but because of programming language, okay? Yung mga Android apps natin, it cannot be done but by the use of programming languages. Okay? But of course, kasama na rin ang database with that. Okay? What is the example of programming languages, no? Lahat naman tayo ICT will be able to deal with it. Number one is Apache NetBeans. It is a integrated it is IDE software that you can use to create your program, you create your system based on the programming languages. NetBeans, you can create a JavaScript, okay, Java language systems. Visual Studio, you can create your syntaxes with regards to your games, your application software. You create your own interfaces with that. For example, gagawin ka ng system na pang computer, di ba? Kumbaga developer ka when it comes to the application software, not in the, kasi may dalawa. May application software when it comes to the desktop and of course meron din tayong web development na which is to web but of course pertaining to the software. So dito yan sa Visual Studio. And MS-DOS, ito yung mga unang kapanahunan na kulay black at kulay blue na parang akala mo para ka nasa 80s or 90s. Perform different programming language like C, C#, C++, Java, and Python. We have Ruby. Okay? So, pagka web development naman, PHP, ayan. Lahat po yan ay may encounter ninyo sa college nyo kapag kayo ay nag-IT course. Usually, maggagawa po kayo ng codes. Magko-codes po kayo. So, masasabi ninyo na pagka nag-thesis kayo, ay, ganito pala ginagawa yung system, ginagawa yung application software. Diba? Paano ba nagawa yung Photoshop? It's made by the C++ programming language para nagawa yon. Okay? So, yung mga ano natin, ito, yung OBS is open source. Pag sinabi natin open source, different contributors can contribute their syntaxes that will be add functions to the software application. Okay? May mga iba, yung mga paid na subscription like MS Office, Adobe, syempre, for commercial purposes. Other types of software, ayan. There are many different types of software which can be a little confusing with the uninitiated. Following is a brief definition of each type and differences between them. Number one, when it comes to the retail. Retail is the result of shelves of the retail stores. For example, pumunta ka ng Data Blitz at pumunta ka ng Octagon. So makikita mo doon may mga CDs, di ba? May mga CDs ng mga application, especially sa Octagon, ayan, sa Data Blitz. May mga Data Blitz mga gaming pero sa Octagon, for example, Octagon, PC Express, may mga minsan, may mga stalls din doon na mga installers. Lalo na sa ibang bansa, usually may ganito. Pero sa Pilipinas kasi 'di ba, mostly mga nasa shelves. It includes expensive packaging designed to catch an eye of shoppers and as such as generally more expensive. An advantage of retail software is that comes with the printed manuals and installation materials missing in hard copy form from virtually for every category of software. Usually, ito, syempre, may kamahalan at the same time, pagka binili mo, nandyan na yung manual, nandyan na yung CD or USB drive, as well as nandyan na rin yung license. Dahil syempre bumili ka ng genuine, original, legitimate product nila mismo. Okay? Syempre may serial number pa yan. Okay? Next naman natin, OEM. When you see OEM is Original Equipment Manufacturer. It refers to the software sold in bulk to resellers designed to bundle with the hardware. Example, Windows has contracts with various companies as Dell, Toshiba, Gateway. Microsoft sells its operating system as OEM software at reduced price minus retail packaging, manuals, and installation instructions. So, sinasabi dito, pagka in-install itong, for example, yung OS na to, it's intact with the hardware. Kasi yung serial number niya, yung, of course, meron pa yung codings, diba? Na which is, doon lang siya for that particular device. Okay? Kumbaga, saka it is available to one device only. Hindi to yung transferable. For example, PC1, transfer yung license mo sa PC2, hindi yung pwede kasi naka-OEM siya. Okay? Shareware, when you say shareware, it is downloadable from the internet. Licenses differ but commonly user is allowed to try the program for free for the periods stipulated in the license, usually 30 days. At the end of the trial period, the software must be purchased or uninstalled. Some shareware incorporates an internal clock that disables the program after the trial period unless a serial number is supplied. Okay, otherwise, shareware designed to work with the NAG screens. Usually ito, Internet Download Manager. Ito yung mga software na pwede mong i-download for free. You can try it by 30 days and after that, you have to purchase para magamit mo yung full function ng isang software nito. Kumbaga, pro kung tutuusin. For example, itong IDM. So, ginagamit natin siya for downloading ng mga files na mas convenient siya. Okay? Pero pag dumating after ng 30 days, hindi mo na siya magagamit dahil binigyan ka ng 30 days para ma-experience mo yung product na yon. So, kailangan mo nang bumili or i-uninstall mo yung product na yon. Okay? May mga iba naman po na pagka after nun, kailangan yung iba, may mga little functions lang na magagamit mo. Kumbaga parang may pro yan. Okay? Office. Ang Office, kapag hindi na-activate, definitely hindi mo magagamit yung function nila. Next, demo software. It is not intended to be functioning program, though it may allow partial functioning. It's mainly designed for demonstrate what the purchase version is capable of doing. It often works at work like automated tutorial. Usually, ito ay parang it's just like a beta testing. Kumbaga, demo, the sense na you can use this software, but if you want to use the fully function of the software, you can buy the full functioning version. Kumbaga, whether pro version siya or other definition that can be used as multifunctional feature. Next naman natin is freeware. Actually, yung demo software may mga free and pro. Kumbaga free, ito yung mga features mo. Pero kapag pro, may mga iba na ma-unlock yung features para magamit mo siya. May mga ganon. Next naman natin ito, freeware na. Tuloy na tayo. Is downloadable out of the internet, is free of charge. Yan. It is personal use while commercial use requires a paid license. Usually, kapag may mga add-ons na, usually yun yung may mga bayad. Pero yung the rest ng mga software, tulad nito, Epson, dahil nga driver ng printer, ang alangan namang may bayad pa yon, di ba? Dahil bumili ka ng printer, di ba? Kasama na yun sa package mo. At the same time, para mas sustain yung updates and resources, yung mga drivers is free to download. That's what we call freeware. Printer drivers, yung mga hardware drivers, ayan, usually free yon to download. For example, bumili ka ng Rode na microphone, Rodecaster Pro, na isang mixer na mga pang-podcast. So, para mapagana mo siya sa computer, you can download it for free. So, that's the mga freeware softwares. Next, public domain software. This is free, but unlike freeware, public domain software does not have a specific copyright owner or license restrictions. Usually kasi yung kanina, na freeware, may mga pagmamay-ari yan. And it is copyright and it is trademarked by the company itself. Unlike the public domain, it is does not the specific copyright owner. Yung sinasabi ko nga, it is the only software that can legally modified by the user or his or own purposes. Kahit sino po pwede mag-contribute ng source code para mas mapaganda yung features or to add more features on the software itself. People are encouraged to read licenses carefully when reinstalling software are very widely. Usually, we have GitHub. That's the portal wherein nandun yung mga source code. For example, the VLC, the media player. If you want to add something, meron siyang source code na ibibigay tapos sa GitHub yon, you can download and add syntaxes para mag-function yung mo. And then it will be contributed to be part of the free domain software. The example is the VLC, the OBS. Ito lang naman yung nag-iisang open source software natin na para makapag-live stream na convenient. Kasi may mga iba na tayo na yung meron man tayong StreamYard pero usually kailangan may bayad yon and other streaming software. Meron ding LibreOffice kung gusto mong yung Microsoft, kung wala kang pambili ng Office, Microsoft Office, pwedeng LibreOffice. Okay? Keyboarding, ayan, keyboarding tayo. So with the use the proper of keyboards, kailangan natin matutuhan 'yon. The keyboard chart, syempre, itong illustration na to, kung yung mga letters kung saan doon gagamitin yung mga fingers yon for typing on the keyboard. Actually, that's the proper way for typing. You can practice with that. Use the correct finger to strike each key. Do not look at hands while typing. So, i-practice mo naman tingin, but later on, you practice it na don't looking at the keyboard. Kasi that's the professional way on how to click on the keyboard by the using of hands properly. Stay up straight, and then keep home. Fingers touching more row keys even in the difficult reach. Okay? So, bukod dyan sa keyboarding tips natin, keyboarding check the use of the proper using of hand, mas maganda din syempre na mag-typing test tayo na ilan ba kayo words per minute. Kung gaano ba kayo syempre, yung bilis mo mag-type sa keyboard per minute at the same time, how accurate you are typing in the keyboard. So, meron tayo typingtest.com, pwede kayo mag-type, mag-test type testing, may easy, average, and difficult doon para makita nyo, improving kayo. Usually, kung 60 seconds, you should have 30 pataas na words per minute na para mas ma-improve pa yung typing ninyo. Okay? Since gamer naman ang karamihan sa inyo, you are mostly accurate and fastest when it comes to typing. And of course, when it comes to the computer operation, don't forget to recite all the keyboard shortcut for the Windows. So, I will provide those keyboard shortcuts na meron for Windows para at least hindi kayo nakadepende sa mouse. Siyempre, definitely, paano kung walang mouse? Lalo na kapag nagko-config, lalo na sa operating system. They are using keyboard, di ba? But you are familiar with the keyboard shortcuts, okay? Hindi lang tayo dapat nakadepende sa screen at nakadepende sa mouse. You're also familiar with the keyboard. So I'll be sending it on you by the links, and this will be our topic for the performing computer operation. If you have questions, you can message us in the group page, and we'll be giving this link to you in the video presentation. So we will going to the next week, which is the performing calculations. We'll be able to compute binary numbers, octal numbers, and hexadecimal numbers, and decimal and hexadecimal numbers. So, see you next week, guys.